the unsurpassed, penetrating, and perfect truth is seldom met with, even in 100,000 myriad countless. Now we can see and hear it, we can remember and accept it. I vow to make the Buddha's truth one with myself. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dharma, homage to the Sangha. I was just telling Reverend Vera that I really have to reread everything I write or email because I'm very dyslexic, from the days when there wasn't such a thing. And I can have some strange things that I've written. I don't know how they got on the page, and this is literally true. One night I spent 45 minutes with a dictionary trying to find the word dyslexic. It's true. I couldn't find it. I finally found it. I don't know if I refined it, but anyway. Okay. So we just had our festival of Bhaisajya-guru Tathagata, also known as the Medicine Buddha, Master of Healing, the Bodhisattva Doctor. Images of Bhaisajya-guru, which we have on the scrolls and the various statues, beautiful statues. Well, they're often blue. One of these is blue. I think the Buddha, Bhaisajya-guru in that scroll, but sometimes they're blue. That's the nice thing about Buddhism. Sometimes they're this way and sometimes it's this way. But the blue is associated with the master healing stone, Lapis Lazuli. Okay? Bhaisajya-guru is often depicted with a medicine bowl in one hand, which contains his teaching and medicine. So you'll see that in some of the statues and the scrolls. I think it's the left hand usually. And in researching Bhaisajya-guru, I found a lot of information about the healing qualities of this Buddha. Buddhist practitioners all over the world implore and invoke this Buddha for help at times when someone is ill, at times of wars, and at times of natural disasters, floods, hurricanes, forest fires. Just as we go to other bodhisattvas and Buddhas for help and guidance, Buddhists go to Bhaisajya-guru to help beings heal. So Reverend Amanda gave that lovely talk last week about Jizo Bosatsu, and Bhaisajya-guru is another one that we go to in Buddhism. But the most interesting description of what we can learn from Bhaisajya-guru from me and reading what I did about Bhaisajya-guru is a short sentence I found somewhere. I don't know where it is now. That the main object of Bhaisajya-guru's appearance amongst us is to cure us of ignorance. Ignorance being the most fundamental of all illnesses we human beings have. So we don't usually consider ignorance as an illness. Sickness is an illness, but actually ignorance is the most fundamental of all illnesses we have. So ignorance of the way things are gets us into a lot of trouble in life. With ignorance clouding our mind and vision, our thoughts, understandings, and perceptions, they're not anchored in right view. They're a bit askew and off, or worse. Our big step out of ignorance is to realize that life is changeable and impermanent. I mean, it's obvious from day one, but we kind of think it isn't going to change, and maybe it's going to be permanent, or some part of our life is going to be permanent. Everything is subject to change. If we are born into this world, we will die at some point. It's not awful. I mean, if that didn't happen, how many people would we have on this earth? I mean, it'd be like, we live and we die. That's how it is. And all things are the same way. I always like this quote from the Buddha. He says, "Many do not realize that we here must die. For those who realize this, the quarrel ends. Because I think it's true, although we're surrounded by change and death, we don't actually fully cognize the fact that we here must die. But those who do realize this, the quarrel ends. So we realize, oh, time's short. I don't need to get all on a twist about all this stuff. And as we know, we don't know when we will die. So isn't it better to treat each other with kindness and compassion now? Now is what we have. The future is uncertain. Illness and sickness in Buddhism are viewed as both external and internal. And Bhaisajya-guru is as much about the mind as he is about the body. There's a karmic aspect to illness. This is not a matter of punishment, but sometimes there's a karmic aspect. So I'm going to give you an example, which we all know. If we chain smoke cigarettes for most of our lives, it's possible that we will get lung cancer at some point. Now, my dad chain smoked until his 60s. He stopped smoking. He took up square dancing. And he didn't die of lung cancer. He died of something else. No. Some mental or physical illnesses are not that easy to explain. It's just like, where did that come from? And the fact of the matter is that we are all going to die of something in our lifespan. You die, unless you die in your sleep. But probably if they really analyzed you, you'd completely worn out or something. I don't know. To seek medical help for illness is thought to be good in Buddhism. We're not anti-medicine. And the alternative medicine can be very good too. Medicine, surgery, treatment, therapy can extend our lives and the quality of our lives. Why wouldn't we want that? But really what is ever more important for our well-being is our attitude of mind. Okay, illness is going to happen. We can't control it necessarily. But our minds we can do something about. Very sick people, I've found, can have very bright minds and hearts. They're not dragged down by their sickness. Indulgence in bitterness, anxiety, unfairness, and anger just make us sicker. To cure ourselves from ignorance, we need to base ourselves in compassion, kindness, patience, and equanimity. In life, pain happens to us all. Even if we die in our sleep, we've probably had some time in our life where we stubbed our toe. Pain is it comes along with the human body. Suffering, on the other hand, is optional. Okay? And that's, the Buddha said there's two things that he taught were suffering and an end to suffering. And you can do something about suffering. It's a choice. A compassionate mind stops us from being totally wrapped up in our suffering. We can let go of our selfishness, which is one of the other illnesses of human beings, selfishness, and realize that others have sickness and pain too. Okay, we're all in it together. We share in the pain of all beings. So my understanding of offering merit for beings or a situation is that sure, we hope that everything's fixed and cured and everybody's better. But that's not always going to happen, in terms of the illness or the situation and its devastation. What we're more importantly praying for with the transfer of merit is that beings find peace and stability within their circumstances. Okay? because you can't necessarily control the circumstances, but you can do something about how you are within them. And in that way, even in, with terrible illness, terrible circumstances, we can have a heart at rest. I mean, sometimes miracles happen. Someone is miraculously cured. It happens. And no one can explain it, but it doesn't happen all the time. And I'm all for miracles. We still, though, someday will die, even if we had a miracle happen with us. It doesn't mean we live forever. To keep the precepts and purify our hearts is powerful medicine. To do so prepares us for the unknown. The compassionate, generous mind, calm, peaceful, and joyful, is the best mental and spiritual environment for healing. And this not only brings us peace, but that peace will extend to others. We watched a movie a while back, I think it was made in 2023, called The Miracle Club. And I will, from the very get-go, tell you that we like movies that sometimes don't get very good ratings. I don't know that ratings mean anything. So it's got Kathy Bates and Maggie Smith in it, really great actresses. And Kathy Bates and Maggie Smith, with a couple other women, they're living in Ireland, in this village. They're part of a Catholic parish. So they with two of them, with a couple other women, enter the parish talent contest at their local Catholic church. And for the talent contest, they do a version of He's So Fine. I don't know if you know that. Chiffons, 1963. To date ourselves here. But anyway, they enter the contest, they do this. It's actually really fun to watch them do this. And they win the prize, and the prize is a trip to Lourdes. Okay. So then about this time, a visitor who was raised in this town comes back to the town. I'm giving you the real short version here. Comes back to the town, and she ends up going to Lourdes with them too. So a few of these ladies have some type of illness. One has a lump on her breast, which she's very worried about. The youngest of them brings their son along, who's never spoken. He's 4 or 5 something years old, and he's never spoken. So she's really hoping for a cure for him, that he will be able to speak. I don't want to spoil the movie. So long story short, the healing that they received is about a change of attitude, about something that has been troubling them for years. So it wasn't about a physical something, although something happens with the boy. Yeah, their husbands, at the beginning of the movie, are not too keen on them going to Lourdes. They think it's a racket. Get people to spend money to take the waters of Lourdes. Apparently the waters are really cold. But while these women are gone from their homes in Ireland, their husbands have to do the cooking, the housework, and taking care of the children. So when they get back, the husbands, have really grown to appreciate what these women are doing on a daily basis. It's kind of nice. So it's a nice movie. In Buddhism, with our understanding of karma, we do not feel that people get sick, die young, possibly because they are bad. We're not a religion about badness. We don't think that if only they were better, we were better trainees, we would be cured. Because if we were really good trainees, we would never have illness. Well, it doesn't work that way. I don't think that's what training is about, and I don't think it's what illness is about. Bhaisajya-guru doesn't think in this way. Bhaisajya-guru is about compassion. Karma is about compassion. It's not vengeance and retribution. We do get the consequences of what we do. That's the law of karma. Okay. The thing is, we can realize the ignorance of our ways, and change, because human beings can change. Maybe there will still be a karmic consequence, but our attitude has changed, and the mind will not be pulled down by our past wrongdoings. We've learned. Okay. In life, it isn't as though those of us who venture into old age do so because our training has been stellar. I don't think so. You know, we just are the ones that get to venture into old age a bit. Why do some people die early and some of us grow old? I don't know. There is the saying that the good, they die young. There's a famous song about Abraham, Martin, and John. Well, my older sister, Joanne, died at age 48 from brain cancer. You know, it was tragic. She had 8 kids. She was a daycare teacher and was nicknamed the Pied Piper in Birkenstocks. She always wore Birkenstock sandals, and kids were always following her wherever she went. Okay. She was one of the sweetest people I have ever met. Her cancer, as it can do, metastasized and went all over her body. You know, in the end, when I last saw her, she looked 80 years old, and she was only 48. She just kind of shriveled. But the last time I saw her, she was in the hospital in Sacramento. Fortunately, she was able to spend much of the last year of her life at home, but the pain towards the end became too much for her at home. You know, she needed around-the-clock care, and whatever they could do to help with the pain. So when I walked into her hospital room the last time I saw her, as she always did, she lit up with a big smile and said, "John," that's my birth name, "what can I do?" Still emotional after all these years, but "what can I do for you?" So that was my sister. And it was me who wanted to do something for her. So, you know, the best I could do was to sit quietly and let her talk, you know, as she could. So she told me that she was having lots of dreams about my mother, who was dead, and my uncle, who was dead, who she loved dearly, and some of our close relatives who had died. So my response was, maybe you'll see them soon, Joanne. So I believe, you know, beings, Bhaisajya-guru, Avalokiteshvara, can come to help us when we are in distress or dying. How that works, I have no idea. That, you know, they come looking like one of those people, not necessarily so, one of those bodhisattvas and Buddhas, but they are there to help us because they have made the vow to help beings in suffering, distress. So I want to end by saying that a meditation practice is a great aid in life, in illness, and in death, as well as everything in between. With a regular meditation practice, we learn to sit still within the conditions of our lives. Consequently, we can see what is going on more clearly. Okay? We can make better decisions, and we can be at peace in our hearts and minds. This is the most important medicine of Bhaisajya-guru Tathagata. Thank you.